I've got your branding on.
Huh?
I've got your branding on. Hey. Let's just rename some of these streams. Man eats food on camera. Oh, right.
What are you doing?
I just moved the air fryer away from the heat of the pan. So, I think it's as good as last time.
What, the ketchup?
Mm.
Do you know?
Maybe I'm being hypercritical. Well, I think I have to apologise. I was hosting someone. I've interrupted my hosting of them. I hope they can forgive me.
Huh?
We were automatically hosting a channel
Oh.
whilst we weren't here. And I've interrupted it.
Oh, dear. We interrupt this broadcast.
We interrupt this scheduled broadcast to bring you news of this man sat in a chair eating some bread. Top quality broadcasting. Oh,
Did you see that Ian Botham has been given a peerage?
really?
Yeah, so he's now going to sit in the House of Lords, passing legislation.
Ian Botham, the cricketer.
Oh, yeah. Can you think of anyone less qualified?
Me! I'd be rubbish. Hello, Zarv. How are you? How's your weekend going? We just realised a cricketer is apparently going to be entering the House of Lords. Not quite sure, unless there's cricketing legislation, I suppose. Be a very British thing to have a piece of law about, I don't know, the length and breadth of a bat.
I think they're just cricketing rules.
They're just the rules, not the law. But I hope you're well, Zarv. We're starting off slowly. I've been up quite a long time today because I woke up at 5 in the morning and couldn't get back to sleep. So what we've got at the moment is bread. That's really, actually, I'm just eating lunch. But we're going to be making a jam out of figs. And I've made a slight mistake already in that I forgot the principal step in the jam making process is to wait at least 8 hours, if not overnight. So what I'm probably going to do is start the jam, and then we're going to leave it the full overnight, and I'll come back tomorrow evening and finish off the jam making process. It's quite embarrassing actually, because I've done this twice. Do you know what? I've still got the last jam. Hang on. Oh. There we go. Which was also a fig jam. The only problem was it was not fresh figs, but dried figs. And it's the consistency of cement. That's probably not exaggeration. Hang on, let's get ourselves. Without any real difficulty. Loving the Bon Mam. yes. You knew exactly where I got that from, didn't you? Reuse and recycle. It's a marvellous thing. But yes, as you can see, it's not the most spreadable jam in the world. It does fight back. So we are going to try again, but this time using some fresh figs rather than dried. We did our best, but it didn't really, well, for want of a better word, work. And apropos of nothing, I'm also going to try a pie that I saw on my travels. So, pork, apple and black pudding. I know Mrs. Al won't want to try this because black pudding, not your thing, is it, my love?
No.
Not at all. Artistic presentation of slices of pie. That's good pie. Do you know I haven't done pastry on stream yet?
No? Isn't pastry your nemesis though? Do you want to do a French tart, for example?
I do not want to do ever again a French tart. Right, this is a story worth telling. I decided for dessert, because we had a lot of apples, that I would do a French apple tart. So far so good, all normal. When did we start? Was it like 8 o'clock?
What, in the evening?
Yeah.
No, it was a lot earlier.
Was it earlier than 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
So
Like 6 minutes. Because I think
we had dinner.
Had dinner in the middle.
Yeah. Gosh, this is a good part. Oh. So we'd had dinner and said, right, we'll try and make this French tart. By 10 o'clock, I was still sieving apples to make the puree. I finished past midnight. Poor Mrs. L basically, quite rightly said, I'm going to bed. I'll see you in the morning. So there I am at past 12. I ended up burning both my arms on the oven and produced what I can only describe as a positively average French apple tart. Do you know, is that the last time I've done pastry? Gosh, that was a while ago.
Because as well, because you run so warm, it makes working with pastry really difficult.
If you stick a thermometer in me, I'm very hot most of the time, and you need cold hands to do pastry. So I think a return is due.
What would you do?
I would do maybe one of those. Maybe I'd go big or go home kind of thing. You know, the hand risen ones where
Then that's hot crust pastry. So then you
actually that would work to my advantage, wouldn't it?
Then you'd be fine. Yeah.
But maybe we could do that. Do a meat-filled hot crust pastry.
What? I mean, you'll be the only one eating it, but
Is there any pie I could make you that you'd eat?
no,
No, not a pie person.
no. I guess I used to eat apple pie when I was younger that my mum made.
Apple pie. Hello, convict. How are you? Yes, you're quite right, Zarf. Pastries are finicky. We started a bit late. Sorry about that. I had to put on my my walking boots and go and get some missing ingredients. And how are you? How's Sunday treating you? I'm so sorry about the technology last night as well. I tried to catch up with you all desperately. However, I've sorted out Discords. Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm currently trying a pie. It's a good pie, this. It's black pudding, pork and apple. And we were just discussing the fact the last time I did pastry must have been years ago. So I think a return is due. It's a good pie. This is the lesser part of the stream, I hasten to add. It's not just me sat here eating food. I suppose that's a mukbang, isn't it?
Yeah, but
This is a very small one.
not just in a singular pork pie.
The singular pork pie and some focaccia that I bought because I was out when I was getting the rest of the ingredients.
I can't open
You can't open it.
it.
Now,
I'm bringing it to you.
Mrs. Allen's currently arranging her nails.
Arranging one. What a weird thing to say.
Painting?
Yeah.
No. There we go.
Thank you.
Right. I've sat down long enough. It is time for me, I think, to get to work.
And your keep.
Oh my keep. Get off my backside and work. Right. There we go. So, how is your day going, Convict? Are you having a good one? No, Convict. Convict has become our first ever subscriber.
Oh!
Convict, thank you. And you know what? There's going to be a badge coming soon as well, but you are literally the first ever. What a star you are. Thank you very much indeed. There will actually be some content and some worthwhileness of being a subscriber, I promise. Once I catch up, I need to speed up, I think, a little bit. But I think as you and I were talking about, weren't you, it's always important. I know we say, we must speed up. I shouldn't say it jokingly, actually, because it can become quite pressured. And what I particularly like and have enjoyed is that this is kind of working to... I want to do more, obviously, than I can manage, but that's a day job for you. And this has got to remain fun. Like last night was absolutely hilarious with the Omega's singing, by the way, a par excellence, a thing of absolute majesty. But it's got to work. So, but there will be more. I'm going to do it. Mum's the word. Mum's the word. I shall be there to see it. What a fine fellow he is as well. Now, what shall we start with? Shall I get the potato crisps on the go?
Whatever you want.
Right. The first thing we're going to try is homemade crisps because, one, they're healthy. Two, and I put a link in the Discord to the machine we use. It's a bit finicky. I've been disinfecting a jar.
Do you want me to move that stool out of the way?
No, it's good. I might use it again because I'm feeling lazy. I'm being lazy, in fact. So I'm going to get it's also quite... Got to keep the love in the family. Too right you do. Absolutely you do, Convict. You're totally right. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm heating up the air fryer, which we will show you momentarily. I'm just going to shift that along. I'm going to lightly season some potatoes that we pre-sliced using a food processor. I'm going to just... No, I'm not using loads of oil, but Mrs. Al's quite right, shouting and... not even shouting. Warning cry. Not warning cry. Do not go silent, please. I've forgotten so many things this morning because I've been up this morning. Mrs. Al has pretty much made sure I've been pointing in the right direction. This has actually been quite a nice, relaxed morning. Speaking of love in the family, we've had a nice chat with my grandmother across outside of the United Kingdom, who's got, you'll appreciate this, Convict, has got a fancier piece of kit than I do. She's got one of the most up-to-date tablets that you can buy. And she's 96? 96? 94. What's it called?
Anyway.
I'll have to check. But she uses it as though she's a mere whippersnapper. And that's not a phrase that's used often. So, we're going to have salt and pepper crisps. But the reason I also I threw this in as a last is because every time we've done this, we've had unsatisfactory results, if I'm honest. I just have a feeling that it's a case of practice makes perfect. Plenty of seasoning and not too many in the air fryer. I don't know actually, can you guys hear it? Because it's a loud thing. I'm just going to put this in a... This is just to be lined inside of the oven base that we detach and fill. You can hear something in the back. Is it overwhelming? Because that's, funnily enough, I've only just turned it on, but that is the air fryer. It's a health product, but a noisy beast. It demands attention. So I'm not going to put too many in, and we shall cover that up. So once it's heated up, we're going to lay them inside and leave them effectively to do their thing. So that's stage one of potatoes. There we go. And I'm sorry, Convict, as well, there should be a sort of loud celebration as well when the subscriber button goes off, but we're down here on the phone, so there aren't any bells and whistles. I can do it. Hang on. What's the... I can't because it's the turning owl head. The subscriber thing we've got at the moment is the owl that turns around and goes, whoa. Except I can't do that because you can't see my face, which makes it rubbish. It means I'm just here going, whoa. That quality content, Mrs. Al says, quality content. Now, speaking of quality content, I have made what I can only describe as a boob. I have made a mistake and forgotten, when it comes to jam, that you actually need to give it at least 8 hours in the steeping mixture. So, bit of a whoops on my part. So we're going to prepare this, and we're actually going to do a bonus stream tomorrow after I'm done with the day job, finishing off the jam. So we're going to prep it to start, and this will, I promise, go upon our Discord chat as one of the recipes. So the first step with this is just taking the skins off the edges of your fig, because we're doing a fig and orange jam. If you hadn't guessed, I'm fairly sure the fact that I'm chopping figs was probably a dead giveaway. So top and tail. So what are you've got, obviously you're playing with Falama later, Convict, and so what are you up to until then? Zarv, have you got any plans too? Just Sunday hold for the pair of you. I think for us I'm going to do this and then probably have a nap. Because we got up so early this morning, I've actually done some surprise paperwork from the day job emerged. More FPS games. Oh, jolly good. Which ones are you going for, Zai? Is it going to be the likes of COD, PUBG? I'm being encouraged to play, but it's sort of like watching someone from the Boer War being handed a machine gun and looking perplexed, if I'm entirely honest. Never quite goes to plan. But also, I'm quite glad last night I actually sharpened our knives a little bit, because it's making this job just that little bit easier. Apex! Ah, I know of Apex. In fact, some other followers of ours, who absolutely I can encourage you to go and see them, is NWKB and Julia, are in fact, I think, in a tournament this evening, playing Apex. You're thinking of, Convict, if I was going to encourage anyone to get a game, RimWorld, absolutely. Infinitely, what was the name? NWKB TV, and his lovely partner, Julia. And it's, that's the one. Sorry, is the air fryer so loud that you can't hear me? Is it making it difficult? Because if it is, honestly, I'll probably turn it off and do it later, because it was a sort of last-minute throwaway experiment. And no, you can hear okay, okay. Well, if anybody can't, just shout, because it's, if you like, an additional extra rather than the main show. So at the moment, it's just gently chopping figs. In fact, I was so not paying attention after I put on my walking boots and jollied off, which is why I was a little bit late, because I realised we didn't have any oranges. I got all the way to a shop that I knew had oranges, then wasn't paying attention and accidentally picked up grapefruits. So then I had a whole debacle when I realised I was paying for grapefruits. I had to go and sort it out with someone who wanted to be COVID secure and for some reason was getting closer to me and then looking surprised and then backing away. It was sort of an odd multiple personality mode, actually. Try not to waste anything if I can avoid it. Now, I have a feeling we might be ready to put these slices of potato in. Let's just ease off the skin. Was there any particular reason we chose fig, my love? I can't remember. Did we choose fig for a reason? I can't remember. For the jam. Oh, we just saw lots of figs and we went... Okay. In vlogs?
No, I mean, yeah,
Also, another particularly good recipe you can do with figs is a basic duck salad. That is if you can get a hold of the duck and have it comply and give you some figs, I suppose. There's a little bit of a sort of a, not painstaking, but slow process, this first bit. And as well, because we bought these from a green grocer, I just literally saw they had a tray with not many figs left. So I bought the whole tray and didn't actually check what was in them. So we actually lost a couple, which turned out to just be not so good. Not like me, that actually. I normally check them all, but I think I just got overexcited and went, I shall buy them all. I shall have this entire tray of figs, thank you very much. Well, that was it then. We forgot to buy the other ingredients like the orange juice. Okay. Let's just do this one, and then we will shimmy around. Put in our potatoes. But otherwise, it's been... with the MI6, but yes, so we're not meant to tell people comedy. Yes, my hidden career. I'm apparently a spy. I am the worst spy that would ever be. And as we always say, that is exactly what a spy would say. Right, let's pause there for a moment and let us. I shall demonstrate as best as I am able how this works. I'm just going to... Right, so this is basically the guts of the air fryer. Also, if I'm teaching anyone to suck eggs, I apologise if you already know how an air fryer works. So you then just, which I particularly love, there's a little button underneath a cap, and to me that's like catnip. You know, it makes me feel like I'm James Bond. Oh, we're back to the spy thing again. State secrets. Hidden button. So we're then just going to lay them inside. I saw a tip as well that said put a little bit of oil underneath the tray. So I'm going to do that too this time. So I'd just like to try and get a good result with these. So click it back in. Slide back into our vessel. And then another tip is to keep circulating it quite frequently, because otherwise they stick, some of them boil. What oil are we using? Let's have a look. Ground nut. It's a nice alternative. It's got to your standard olive oil. It's got a nice kind of, well, obviously nutty flavour to it. Yeah, it's nice, it's light. I think it works very well actually as a substitute. We've got a lot of substitutes in the house actually. We're not really dairy eaters, so we have milk alternatives. Well, we don't just have olive oil, we've got, you know... I know, an example of alternatives. And I've suddenly got a craving for a bit more pie.
How are figs made?
How are figs made? On a bush, aren't they? No, tree. Tree, fig tree.
Yeah, but Copic said not a fan of figs, now I know how they are made.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, and the smell from the air fryer nugget. How are figs made? Dead wasps inside it.
Oh, what?
Really? That is something I've never heard of before. Grief.
I'm trying to be sciencey now.
Hello. Hello, Jazz. How are you doing? Or indeed, Jessie Cat. Get it right. Get it right, Al. How are you? How is your Sunday going? You have caught us in the fairly painstaking and slow process of skinning a fig and now trying to spot if there are any dead wasps inside. Mrs. Al is also not a fan of wasps. I think her research...
I'm moving than little else.
Oh, do you want to show the count? Hello, Fuzzy. King Fuzzy. Let's give you your full title. How are you this fine weekend? Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. It's all thanks to everybody here. That's how it's made. A lady wasp pollinates it, and the guts of a fig is a dead wasp.
No, it's not.
Are you pulling our legs, Com? Is that really it?
No, can't be. I don't even want to look it up now, because then what if it is and you're eating basically dead wasp jam?
Oh, it's not. You just Googled it. Oh, someone else is... Oh, and now the coffee machine's going ballistic. Do you want to show the folks your...
No.
Oh, come on.
I don't even know what I'm doing with
Mrs. R's getting shy. She's done another yet another emote for me. That's one that the chaps that were vetting them haven't seen yet. You're pulling nothing, convict. I'm gonna have to look this up. You've fascinated me. What's worrying is you've told me that, and it's apparently you can't send you a message. In order to pollinate the plant, a female wasp enters an unripe male fig, not the ones we eat, and lays her eggs. Once the female picks a plant, they crawl inside, drop some pollen from their birth fig and their future babies, and the whole thing starts anew. So that's fascinating, because these are obviously seeds, but if you leave them, they wouldn't, for example, there's no question, for example, I wouldn't think of worms, for example. Luckily for us, the female fig produces an enzyme that digests this wasp completely. The crunchy bits are seeds, not wasp parts. Good grief. That's fascinating. And it does it's true. The chat is telling us, I shall retell, both Zarv and Convict have found out. A male fig is pollinated by a wasp, and the wasp then dies and leaves. Actually, I'm doing injustice here to what I've just been told. I'm so fascinated. So we then basically have left the crunchy bits is an enzyme digests everything, and it's seeds. The crunchy bits are seeds, not wasp parts. Have you now gone off the idea of fig jam, my love? This may be the last time we do fig jam. Isn't Mother Nature funny? I mean, what an odd way to end up with a fruit. No apologies, Colin. Knowledge is for all and should never be apologised about. Absolutely not. That's fascinating. I would never have thought. I'd have just thought, like most fruits, just grows on the tree. You know, pollen makes the world go round. I would never have thought it was so complicated that a wasp has to pollinate a male fig for a start. Didn't even know there were male and female figs. How fascinating. Let's get rid of some of the fig bits. Nature is a funny old beast, isn't it? Oh. Hang on, we've got a problem with it. Jesse, you can't send a certain message. Oh. That's funny. Sorry, Jesse, I don't know why that is. Nature is indeed, however, a weird and wonderful thing. Weird a lot of the time. Whoops, setting. It's alright, just getting rid of sticky fig bits. And your phone's going ballistic as well, is it, my love? Okay. I'm going to take out our potato crisps and see how we're doing. It's quite hot, so getting it close to the camera might be tricky some.
Let me see. I want to see.
They have got a long way to go, haven't they?
Yeah. How long has it been in for?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
So back they go. Oops, there is it. Hang on. That's catching fire slightly. We don't want that. This is why when I put this on the Discord...
Yeah, there's burnt there.
There's burnt... Oh, blimey. And there's burn inside with the...
Is that?
Yeah, just a little bit. I've got it.
Okay.
It's not been the best of our purchases, if I'm honest. I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on there. I shall have to inquire with you what that message was when we're off stream. Maybe I've clicked something whilst I've... Oop, the hell is that? Yes, I'm going to demonstrate the problem. Light bulb hanging. It's not letting you do a light bulb. How weird. Yes, as learning experiments go, you can probably see here, the paper keeps catching fire on the top. I mean, we nearly had a fire when we were trying to do kale chips, and quite literally they caught fire in the actual air fryer itself. So I've got a kind of ranking system at the moment as to our favourite pieces of kit in the kitchen, and this is unfortunately right at the bottom. It should be the most useful, but so far I found it to be a little bit finicky, a little bit temperamental. It'll sort of work when it wants to. So now I'm listening to just check that it's not going to fly into the... Nope, it's done it again. Nope, this is problematic, because all it's doing now is just... Literally, it's so light, it's just lifting up. You've never had a problem with yours? What am I doing wrong, I wonder? Not enough potato, maybe? Never had a problem. Yes, because all it's doing, I shall lift it out, is this is so light, it's just lifting straight up, and it's going straight into the hot rings at the top, and it's causing the paper to catch fire. Can you oil it down a bit so it sticks? That's a good idea, actually. Let's try that. So there's some in the bottom just to try and waft some oil around. That's a very good idea. A very good idea, Jesse. Let's try that. Oh, let's pop that down. Let's see if that does the trick. Right, come on. Well, listen, has it worked? Jessie Cat. There we are. That's the answer, hopefully. Stick down, it's not flying off. Marvellous. Yes, NWKB, that's the one convict, and his lovely partner Julia, who's often around as well. They're back at work at the moment, so they've been struggling to get on to streams. What a brilliant tip. There we go, folks. It's all a collective learning experience. Air fryer, oil down the paper. Marvellous. Maybe we'll actually get some crisps at the end of this, after all. Once we've finished with our wasp fruit. Is that why... do you know what? It's suddenly convict. Suddenly it makes sense. And Zav, of course. Because you both said, obviously, you found the information about the wasp. Whenever I've been out and about, if there's been wasps uncovered... if there's been figs uncovered, they've been terribly popular with wasps, I've found, at barbecues and things. I must admit, I've only been to a few barbecues where there were any figs. They're not the... shall we say, the norm. I think burgers are more the normal fare. If it catches fire, don't blame me. Of course not. I am the, for better or worse, and probably worse is the answer, the chef in charge at this point. Although, of course, in reality, of course, it's Mrs. Owler's in charge. Hello, Taurus. How are you? How are things over the water? Are you well? Are you having a good week? I'm super. Thank you ever so much for asking. How are you? How have things been with your good self? We are currently skinning a fig. We've had a lot of figs. And we have just learnt, courtesy of our lovely chat and Convict and Zav, that figs are the byproduct of wasps. So the best thing to do if you're having food outside and wasps are out, get some figs out on the other side of the garden, the food will be safe. You're just surviving on pasta. Oh dear. Is it fresh pasta or dried? What are we having with it? We shall have some good pasta recipes up, because a simple Italian pasta recipe can be a lifesaver. In fact, there was a chef... Oh, someone's driving away. Off we go. Fluffy! Hello, Fluffy. How are you? Oh, fresh pasta is the one, Taurus. That and some tomato sauce. If you've got any courgette or onion, just chop that up lightly. Just do a gentle fry of that. Add some tomato sauce. That is the great Carluccio himself would have described it as moth. That is the minimum of fuss, the maximum of flavour. Figs, yes, Fluffy, we're starting with figs. And we're learning all about figs. I have IKEA meatballs for tea. Do you know we actually did the IKEA... we've done that before, actually, the IKEA meatballs. They gave the recipe out. We've actually been meaning to come back and do them again, actually. But yes, you can't really go wrong with an IKEA meatball. They're cracking. Aspie, good morning to you. How are you? Welcome in. Are you having a good weekend? Are you having a great weekend? We are delighted to have you here. You've just caught us at really the first hurdle of the cooking for the afternoon here, which was just taking the skins off our figs. And as I have to declare, I've made a slight mistake and completely forgotten that the jam making process requires at least 8 hours, if not 24 hours, for the ingredients to steep together. Now obviously I'm not going to suggest I leave the stream on for 24 hours because I think people staring at an empty and dark kitchen would get rather bored. So I'm going to come back tomorrow evening to finish off the jam. You didn't have to work. Hey, there we go. That's super. In fact, that's exactly the sort of thing, that's my druid tree. What, IKEA? Or a fig? Lovely figs. Thank you very much. Yes, I thought I didn't have to work, and I was a regaling convict with that as well, saying how marvellous it was. And then work had left me an email this morning saying, would you mind awfully, ... But thankfully, since I was up at 5 o'clock, I got it out of the way, and the rest of the day is to spend as Mrs. L and I see fit. So, there we are. I'm quite glad I've sharpened these knives. This would be the point, actually, for irony's sake, if a bunch of wasps sort of flew through the window and proved our point. I have worked for the first time since lockdown. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry to hear it. Have they at least attempted, wherever you're working, to make it safe? It's good that it's only a light start with the Monday and the Tuesday, I agree. In fact, this fig is not so good. No, that's not looking a healthy fig. No, that one's out, I'm afraid. I should really have checked. I got all excited when I finally found fresh figs as we were wandering, and so I bought the entire tray of them and didn't actually check each individual one. So some of them, not so good. Yeah, wasp fig. I had to run away. Wasps fly out the window. I never stopped working once lockdown was a thing. No, we were lucky, actually. I must admit, myself and I, we worked from home. You have to start yours. Well, all the very best, Aspie. Hopefully it won't be a long day, and thank you for dropping in. Delighted to have you here. Only 3 of you. That's. It could be worse. It could be worse. But equally, it'd be nicer, wouldn't it, if you knew that you weren't going into one. So I'm still sorry to hear that, but I hope it is a painless experience. Absolutely, Aspie. Have a marvellous day. Hopefully see you again. Might not be quite so slowly and pedantically skinning a fig. Sounds like a euphemism, that, doesn't it? What are you doing? I'm skinning the fig. What would be a euphemism for? According to you, which economy in the EU is the best right now? That's a very good question. No, just the one convict. I'm going to come back tomorrow and finish the jam. We're going to do everything else we can do, and I'm going to come back tomorrow, come hell or high water. I shall be here tomorrow evening to finish the jam. So this is jam preparation. That's a very good question, Taurus. Which economy in the EU? I would have to. That's a good question. I mean, they've got their independent status, their own unique moniker, but I imagine the Swiss are doing quite well right now, but they always seem to. I mean, sort of trade in other people's money, so they won't be having a problem. Yeah, no, Convict, not us. No, we're not doing so well, are we, Convict? As being led by clueless buffoons. The only thing that's good about that sentence is, in fact, the lovely phonetic ring of the word baboon. It's a lovely word. Sweden, yes, are probably doing quite well. They've had a different policy though at the moment, haven't they? They didn't go into lockdown. They've done something different. I'm not quite sure what it was they did, to be honest. Something. They did something unique and undoubtedly Swedish. Yes, Bosho with the red ass. Isn't the red ass, what's his man that did the eye test at Barnard Castle? We won't get too political, folks, don't we? We could all agree here in the UK that we are sadly being led by morons and buffoons. Yes, sorry, I'm not going to rant here, but eye test. Oop! I should have been checking those, and there's a slight burning smell, so off cliff. Convict, I'll be honest, I don't know if they would find a cliff if it leapt up and bit them. Or they'd claim that they'd make it better post-Brexit. Anyway, let's steer away from such dreary and dry subjects. Oh gosh, it really does smell like it's burning. Hang on. Oops, easy. Ah. Well, they're crispy. We've definitely surpassed that hurdle. Oh dear. And it did slightly catch fire again, somehow. But not as bad as it was. So let's have a look. We are British, that's all we talk about. Yeah, we're absolutely stuffed, yeah. And how the weather swings between, oh, it's raining again. Aye, it's raining again, silly. And then, gosh, it's so hot you could melt her here. Aye, it is at that. No, this is, we are absent Blue Peter moments, except for the Korean milk bread making, there was a little bit of sort of pre-preparation there. But otherwise, no, I like the fact here that you will see everything, warts and all. The oil did, Jessica, it stopped it flying off and catching fire outright. I think maybe I should have done more oil. But what we have, I think, is a crisp conglomerate. Oop. Let's just see. Now, you see, this one, half of it's raw, half of it is cooked to a cinder. See, there we go. I've got half, which, you know, I could load as ammunition for something, and this half here, raw potato. The very edge, I can probably have a snippet near the bits that have cooked well, and they're seasoned well. More experimentation required, I think. I shall call that a to be continued experiment, I think. I think an air fryer needs to have a motor bottom. Turn around. You know what? I was thinking that as well, actually. Because if it turned and rotated, the air would get around it better. But I think we'll set that aside for now. I'm not going to do the rest of it, because it just seems to be... Maybe I'll have a play with it this afternoon. So, we've got our figs prepared. Now, I'll be honest, I am taking a recipe, and I do give credit wherever we get the recipes. If you fancy making jam, this is a particularly lovely book. It's aesthetically quite nice as well, actually. It's one of those sort of... I'm going to be lazy again, folks. I'm bringing the chair in. I normally stand up the whole time, but I'm going to be a tad lazy. It's got that nice kind of aesthetic feel to it, a sort of hefty, chunky book. So, and what's really embarrassing, I don't know if you can see it, but the absolute top line of the book says, this recipe requires 8 hours of macerating. I completely missed that. And speaking of missing things, I missed the arrival of the one and only the Sexy Chicken. Hello, Sexy. Yes, Sexy has arrived as I'm seductively rubbing a cooking book. You time your arrivals well, Sexy. So, where are we to macerate? Right. You see, I haven't actually made a great deal of jam before. And here's Alice as well. Hello, Alice. How are you? How are the grandchildren? I know they're with you at the moment. So we need to zest the oranges and set the zest aside. Peel, then discard the... Hey? Peel, then discard the peel. That's odd. What's an odd? What? That is a strange instruction. I'm selling the virtues of this book, and now I'm looking at it in a sort of all noisy. I can imagine it is, Alice. I can imagine it's a riot. A good one or a bad one? I think we shall. Your whole family's there, convict. A right party then. Right. Well, at least we know we need to zest the oranges. And I know from doing my... Because we didn't have enough figs, I've done some mathematics, God help me. We need 1.5 large oranges. So we shall get to work on them. Right. Oh, get out of my chair again. Stop being quite so lazy. Oops. Stop throwing sharp knives around the kitchen. All the... Beloved nutcases, I'm sure. In the countryside, is healthcare good? I think when you live off in the countryside, you have to kind of bear in mind you might be a bit further away from amenities, which is why the further you get into the countryside, the bigger the cars, basically. Sure, you might have to drive quite a way to get to the nearest sort of amenity. So you have to kind of be prepared for that. Obviously, it won't be quite as readily available as it would be if you were living in the city. A wise move in any scenario, comment. I've also realised I've got the completely wrong ball, so I'm going to... You'll hear the grunt of a man with the bad back, and I'm going into my cupboard. Oh, go. Oh. Quality streaming content. Oops, daisy. Oh. Bang, crash, oh. And he manages to keep his face off the screen, but absolutely destroy his own spine. Right, let's put the book behind me. There we go. So let's just... We haven't even... not your hair. You've seen that I have hair. I'm slowly forming into the figure of a human being. I have an eyeball. We've spotted I have an eyeball. I have hair of varying amounts. I'm just eating some more pie. How far is the hospital? Blimey, from us. That's a good question, actually. Maybe... 30 miles, maybe? Maybe? I'll check, actually, I'm not sure. It's not close by any means. You know, you're talking a fair drive to get to it first. Right. But I mean, as it is, I mean, we've got like... I suppose it is... Convict's probably the even better example, actually, because he's in... or I'm getting my distances wrong, Convict, because obviously you're up in Cumbria. You are proper north. There we are. You don't get... Thankfully, I do quite a bit of driving. You live 2 minutes away from yours. That's handy. I suppose very handy if you're accident prone. No, I've done a lot of driving in my life, Tora, so I'm okay and au fait with... despite the fact I bump into a lot of stuff, which is, you know, not totally reassuring as to my driving skills and spatial awareness. Omega, the star himself, singing extraordinaire. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for the following. You are very, very kind indeed. We've got, when we say that, Taurus, I mean, we've got closer things like pharmacies and things. But an actual hospital itself's quite a bit further away. There we are. So that's half of an orange. Also, a little tip for anyone. I picked this up from a Gordon Ramsay YouTube video. Your voice... Omega, you're very, very... You say my voice is amazing. I've heard you singing. You are quite literally possibly preaching to our choir, our little community. Omega here was doing Twitch Sings last night. It was a thing of beauty. It was marvellous. Absolutely super. That's the North England. Channel the inner Sean Bean. I never survived past the first episode. Isn't that a meme now or something? You know, if you hire Sean Bean for a film, you just have to guess at which point he's going to die. Except for that, he played on, I think it's a Netflix one. Is it the Frankenstein Chronicles? Oh, you're kidding, Convict. You sang as well. We didn't hear you. I flatter not, sir. You were resplendent in your wrestling mask and dulcet and flaring tones. In fact, you were so powerful, you were actually at one point stopping my stream working, so I sadly had to turn down the quality so that the stream could keep up. Yeah, it's shot. Oh, he's even in Hitman 2. I didn't even know that. But as soon as I saw him in Equilibrium, I don't know if that's a new film anymore, or I'm just way behind the times. I go ask him if you give me 10 minutes. Oh, of course he is. Yes. Convict is literally associated by familial blood with the great Sean Bean. What was it? Equilibrium. I saw that he was the second actor and I went, he's not going to last past 15 minutes. I think he died in the first 20 in the end. I didn't give him enough credit. But he didn't half go out dramatically. But no, I have no idea he's in Hitman 2. The only time I think I've seen him survive is the Netflix show, The Frankenstein Chronicles. And I may even... Oh, no, wait, actually, no, do you know what? I'm wrong, again. He didn't survive in the Frankenstein... He actually... Oh, hang on. Spoiler, if anyone... do you know what? I'm not going to spoil it. Something interesting happens in the Frankenstein Chronicles that involves his life and death. Or not death. Or life. So, just forming now. Trying, and also what we're doing as well, avoiding as best as possible getting any of the white of the orange, because that's our pith, and that's just going to be fairly unpleasant. And some might even say, taking the pith. And that is a joke I've made every single time that a recipe has involved pith, and I'm not sure when I'm going to stop doing that. Or indeed, if I am. I suspect Mrs. Owl might like me to stop doing that. Which are all beans. A whole bean side of the family. In fact, we have two people who are some of our oldest viewers, who describe themselves as part of a bean revolution and will only tolerate people who eat baked beans. Mr. Bean. That's a very different character, isn't it, Omega? Hello, Jason. How are you? Welcome in. Now, let's see where we're up to, because I'm using someone else's recipe. So we've got our zest. There we go. So zest, peel, then. So what we then want is, in effect, I've worked out what they're trying to say. They sort of said it very badly. What our next step is to get inside the flesh of each of the oranges. So what essentially we're just going to want here is just a little bit of precise knife work. He says probably about to completely stuff the knife work, but so try and let the knife do the work. I find him hilarious, but my wife hates him. He's one of those watch from the... He's very cringeworthy, isn't he, Mr. Bean? But Ronak, what an actor. How on earth one can do it with a straight face, I don't know. One of my favourite times, though, his favourite ever role for me was Blackadder. Particularly Blackadder Goes Forth. That just marvellously dry wit. It's fantastic. Nothing, just chilling, playing some 2K. What's 2K? Sorry, forgive my absolute ignorance. What's 2K? But we're all good here, Jason. Convict here has been teaching us about figs along with Zarv. They are made from female dead wasps. And that's not a joke. May I be an ocean of calm to you, sir. I shall maintain peace and tranquility. I was wondering about literally calling this Sunday Kitchen, and then I realised actually there is a show called Sunday Kitchen, and I'd probably get me for plagiarism. So I'm getting rid as much as possible of the essentially white sections here. We don't really want them. We only want for the jam actual flesh. The more I say the actual flesh, the more I fear I sound like Hannibal Lecter. I'll start discussing the benefits of fine Chianti. Interesting. Huh. Okay. That's a very good question. I shall... Oh. Who is this mysterious figure? You've all got me puzzled. I'm not going to have to spend the afternoon working out what on earth's going on in my own setup. A funny thing. Oh, the Hannibal reference. Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm just doing mild impersonations now whilst they're... I think the nice thing as well, on a serious note, what serious notes do we have here? Jam is actually, although a little bit messy, it's rather relaxing. I suppose more relaxing, obviously, if unlike Convict and Alice, you've not got family around. There we go. So we're on to our last half of orange now. Are we? Yes, I got that right. Okay. The word hanging. Jesse, all I can assume is I've done something. It must be me, because I'm the only person who's done it. What on earth I've done, or possibly I have no idea. So sorry. As Convict perhaps said last night, fairly put, he and technology are not the best. Not the best of friends. When I do catch up, it needs to sort of require a 5 o'clock in the morning start when the world is quiet and I can look at it ponderously and for hours upon hours upon hours. And then I'm left quite happily in the kitchen where there is no technology to speak of, or the technology I have I try to set fire to. And there we go. Voila! Now comes for... Does anyone know about the process of maceration? Who's this? Amy Saurus Rex. I love that name. Amy Saurus Rex. What a great name. Amy, thank you very much for joining us. And they ain't even... I've not blocked anybody, Convict, ever. This is why it's a puzzle. I'm entirely bemused. Well, I'm normally entirely bemused, but, even more so on this particular occasion. Right, I think we can safely move this out the way for a moment. Sorry for the swearing. What swearing? There was swearing? Oh, I see. Sorry, yes, the blocked swear words. Yes, I'm not saying anyone can't, use colourful language, but we tend not to around here. But don't make me a mock. I'm making a tempting fate now. I would almost do it just to see what will happen next. Where's my tea towel? Right. There we go. Let's clean up a little bit. We're coming to the end of... I used to a lot when I was involved in playing sports, when I wasn't old and decrepit and... yes, nobody time out, Jesse. No. The only people I've ever actually been tempted to, but I was in the middle of in full flow cooking and couldn't work out how to do it on the mobile, were some people that were trolling us, saying that we're making increasingly larger and larger donations, and then invited me to stick my head, and I quote unquote, in a blender. Not even a blender, a vendor. Well, that was a little bit silly. At least get the spelling right if you're going to ask me to stick my head indeed inside a blender. One and only time. Here we are. Right, so next, what do we need? Return to our lovely book that we can... Yes, it's unnecessary, isn't it, Zarv? I'm sure they think they're hilarious. I think that speaks more volumes about the state of their intelligence rather than anything else. Here we go. Right. Yes, I mean, there was someone that it was a message that Fluffy sent. Chat just being unnecessarily awful, just sending unpleasant. Why? What do you get at? Is your life so incomplete? Is your life so small and shallow that the best you can do is hurl insults at a stranger? Every time you do, it says more about you than anything else in the world. Namely, that you're a pathetic individual and should perhaps get a life. Sorry, there. Small rant over. There we are. I don't rant often, but some things I think are just require a little bit said. If you're on the internet or in person, there's just no need for any of that. I see, me and Omega had a Star War troll. He made no sense, and I found the dude that went on. Oh, you found him? Oh, now, out of curiosity, did you leave him to his own doom, or are you going to pursue him with proverbial pitchfork? I say proverbial before we actually go from basically saying what an idiot of a troll, and then we go and actually turn into a baying crowd and skewer the man. He would deserve it, Fluffy. He was terribly mean. In fact, actually, I don't. Hang on. Before I sully everything in the kitchen. Oops, Daisy. Right. Wanted to say something, but I think you're right. I think it probably will. I think it probably is every day if that's the best he can do. Not sure what was worse, actually, Fluffy. Him coming up with such nonsense, or the fact that that was really the best he could do. I mean, he's got endless time. Should be endless intellect and intelligence and creativity, and that was what he came up with. Yes, you're not going to be. You are the better man. I think is the point. The far better man. Because let's face it, if you were in his shoes, you would have decimated him with the absolute vitriol and power of the written language. Again, both things were entirely infuriating. One, you're a horrible trolling individual. Two, your intellect could not actually get to a level you could actually come up with something better than that. You clot. You clot, however, is also possibly not also the best finishing statement against such people. Anyway. Plus, the family. We have gathered the family. How has it gotten to this? So, all I'm doing here, by the way, folks, it looks like I'm fiddling with a lemon. I'm not. I'm just taking out the seeds because... Oh, that's another one. Yeah. We've suddenly gone from lovely and friendly and suddenly the dark side of the community comes out. I'm trying for 25 millilitres and I think I can get it out of half a lime. Come on. Oh, and a seed. Hang on, get that seed. Right. Is anyone under any illusion that jam is good for you? If so, don't watch this next bit. That's all I shall say. Yes, now I understand what the mask is. Turn it around on him. Absolutely. Let's get ourselves finished. Sorry folks, I've forgotten an ingredient. Oops, that lazy. Oops. Oops. Right. And then set the family on it. Right, next bit, as I say, no one's under any illusions. This is the bit of the jam that's really not good for you. So this is sugar. Toodaloo, Jesse. See you soon. All the best. At the speed I'm going, we'll still be making the jam by the time you get back. That, ladies and gentlemen, is 360 grams of sugar. If you're on a diet or a health kick, use your jam sparingly. That's what I shall say. Now, there we go. So, just give that a bit of a shake. Ooh. It is, yes, Omega, a ton of sugar. And bear in mind, this is half of the recipe that I've got going on. So that's half the actual sugar that the recipe called for, because we only had half the figs. Use jam sparingly. It is basically sugar. So that is the liquid we've now got. It's all been nicely coated. And that is going in our fridge. And because I'm a complete dolt and didn't read the first line of the instructions and realised that it had to wait for 8 hours, if anyone would like to see the results, we're going to come back tomorrow evening, no matter what the odds, and make the rest of this jam. So that goes away for now. But I do not. We have more to do. There we go. Right. I now have a stick of celery, which I don't actually need. So, here comes stage 2. And I finally came to a decision on this, because I've asked a lot of people, your good selves included. I always wanted to do a thank you stream for getting to affiliate. And because my second idea requires a lot of planning and ingredients and working with time zones, oh, don't worry, Omega, even if I've got to work into the night for the day job, because if I leave it for 48 hours or even 72, if I leave it until Wednesday, when we're actually going to do the prawns and pasta, it will be beyond use. It will be awful. It will, completely unusable. So I really have to do it tomorrow no matter what. So even if it's a quick sort of 30 minutes, here we go, pick it up from there, and this is what we've got, that's what we'll do. But the thank you to you all for being entirely marvellous. I had 2 ideas. One is a big set menu where I look through everyone that's helped us. I get inspiration from, your background and things that you told me, and I'll make a set menu and we'll fit it into time zones to make sure those of you in America can see it, because we've got people that watch from, I'm very lucky indeed. I've got people who watch in America, Singapore, I think we've even got someone from Vietnam, we've got Tauruses in Canada, but because that requires so much planning, and I don't want it to sort of be a point where that marvellous step of getting to affiliate was ages ago, I'm going to go with my other option first and keep that one on the back burner and do it in the future. And that one is a hot sauce. We're doing the First We Feast hot sauce challenge. And what I hope to do is encourage as many people as possible to come and watch Mrs. Owl and I get through as many various and different hot sauces as possible, finishing with the Skull of Doom, who stares at me every time I open the cupboard door. It's terrifying. And bear in mind, neither of us do very well with hot sauces, so that's going to be curious. You're going to like this one, Omega, then, because Mrs. Owl nor I do particularly well with hot sauce at all. But if you like hot sauce, you're here at just the right moment, because we're going to make one, and we're going to make it right now. How's about that for timing? It's almost like I planned it. You want to try? Well, Fluffy, I'm going to put the recipe on Discord. So it's going to be available. If it works, the finished recipe will go up for everyone to have, to see, to use, to try, to tweak. And in particular with the challenge, I'm wondering it'll be either this weekend coming or the weekend after. And have I been clever and remember where my gloves are? Because I've got some food handling gloves, which I think I'm probably going to need. Where did I put them? Sorry folks, you'll see my slight flank and girth. Whoops, daisy. Have I got any gloves? Oh. This is top quality content, this. Back end of chef. Right. It will have to do. It's not the one I wanted. But we've got our, I think these are Ghost. They're Scotch bonnet, these. We're going to do very little with them, actually. This is not our, weirdly enough, the main ingredient, because really that is going to go in unprocessed, raw, seeds and all, into a food processor. So, well, we have actually, hang on, let's see if I've got access to the other sauces. Let me put that there. One of the ones we've got, I think, is a Ghost. No, that one's, we've got Reaper. And the Skull, I honestly asked them, the guy says, I don't know how strong this is. He just says, be careful. What's this one? That one's Habanero. So we've been preparing for this for a while. Scotch bonnet. There we go. Oh, a second habanero. And the finales were, well, this one which we're going to make. And then to start us and ease us in, because we don't have much by way of hot food, would you believe it or not, given all of these. We've got our Tabasco. I had to check what that was. Sriracha, which is in the fridge. I nearly caught a fly. And what's the last one? Gochujang. Wow, when they say be careful, just stay... Yeah, exactly. I think I've worked it out, though. I think it might be sales bump, because it's 6.4 million Scoville extract and 1.6% of it, which by my mathematics would put that roughly at 102,000 on the Scoville scale, which isn't the hottest that you see on the First We Feast show. But I could be wrong. I just have absolutely no idea. So, what we are going to do is start by making a base for the sauce. So for that, we are going to need 1 onion, or half. So I'm going to try and build the flavours up from the very start, which is, to be honest, the same trick I will use for making curries, for example. Start by building it up and building it up and building it up, and if the base works well, once we mix in the chilies and my last secret prized ingredients, which I shall go and grab in a moment, we should hopefully have quite a tasty thing. Now the only problem is I deliberately have had none of the hot sauces yet, because I wanted the surprise to be when we do this live, and our big thank you, and I quietly die. Not even quietly, I probably quite loudly die on the camera. But this one I think I'm going to have to, because otherwise I could be creating something repugnant. Unless we think I should just do it blind and just make it, not taste it, and bottle it up. I think, however, that might potentially be folly. Because if for no other reason, we've actually done... In fact, let me grab it for you. Hang on a second. Where is it? Let's have a look. Yes. Because this really is actually hot sauce take 2. This is the first one we made. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not that chuffed with it. The texture is not quite hard to see actually today. I don't know what's something up with the lights today. The texture is just not quite there. It's quite lumpy. You definitely get the chili hit when it gets in the nose, but there's just something, it hasn't really worked well. And we were trying a method by steeping and rehydrating dried chilies, which in theory is, you know, it was a great plan. There's nothing wrong with that as a plan. But it just hasn't really quite got it. So that's our generalised plan. As a thank you to everybody, I'm going to burn my insides out, and Mrs. Owl will go as far as she wants, and then possibly laugh as you continue firing questions at me, and I can't breathe. I'm going to make everyone food, going to be lurking. Don't worry, Convict. The very best to you and your family, the tribe of Bean. Have fun. We will see you anon, I am sure. Right, is half enough for that? I do want this to be quite strong. Yep. Have we tasted this one? Yeah, do you know what? I will taste it again for you. I'll try and describe it, because what we used... Where have they gone? There they are. We've got Chinese dried chilies. And, you know, they're perfectly good. I'm not saying anything against them. I've used them in the cooking before. But I don't know if something went amiss in the rehydrating of them. Or it's just something not quite right. So just, because as you stir it, for example, I can see, visually speaking, I'll try and, or perhaps if the camera focuses in on it, it's not got a smooth texture. You can even still see some of the dried flakes of the chili on the spoon there. Now, in terms of flavour, it basically does nothing at all. Okay, it's gotten stronger the longer I've left it. Bloody hell. Okay. It's stronger than when I last had it. It's had time to think about it, I think. It's decided it wants to be a stronger chili. Maybe we will use this one. Oh, Bennett. So, you get nothing, a kind of a watery sort of texture, and then it punches you right in the face. And that's it. It doesn't leave, there's no nuance to it, there's no lingering taste, there's no, except for just hot. I mean, that can work, depending what you're cooking with. But yes, I think it's decided whilst it sat in the fridge just to get that little bit more powerful. I'll just see if I can get anything more nuanced from it, because I mean, I know what to put in it. Nope, just punches you in the face. Which I suppose has its place in a chili challenge, but I think we can do better. As I know we can do better, so we will. The next thing I think we need, apart from, because I still haven't really eaten anything today, so I'm going to have a piece of pie. A piece of pie is always a good idea. This happens to be pork, apple, and black pudding, and it's terribly nice. Right. So I've asked everyone else, Omega, how was your weekend? What's your plans for today? Got anything nice on the cards? Just going to swap my kitchen ingredients and implements around. Where's my nearest pan? Here we go. Because the next thing I'm going to add into the mix is some grated garlic. Let's just take a little bit out here. So let's, in fact, if you'll all forgive me, I'm going to turn you around very gently, so I'm sorry about the earthquake camera works. Sorry about this. Just want to, because we're going to be facing this way for a while now, so I might as well just turn you around. Let's move that. What we got in here, in case anyone is ever interested in trying fermenting or doing these sauces, I mean, Omega, if you like a hot sauce and this works, give it a go. Let me know how you do. But in here, I've actually sterilised the jar that it's going to be going into, just for 15 minutes, and then I've left it in the water and the steam, and then when ready, I'll pull it out. Nothing computer maintenance and going for a walk when you're somewhere. That's nice. That to me sounds like a belting Sunday. That sounds a cracker. Let me add to the continued chill of it. We are going to very slowly cook our half an onion. So all I want to do really is just sweat it down just ever so slightly. And also I hasten to add, probably don't do this. In fact, a thought has just occurred of maybe a nice little twist we can add to the flavour profile, because we have got, that's the one I'm after, just a little bit, don't ignore the branding, buy it from anywhere, just a little bit of sesame oil. So I'm just going to drop just a little bit in there. This is an Ainsley Harriott little bit as well. I was used to looking for that. And let's just start slowly building up what will be the base of our sauce. So I'm going to drop in And this is pure food experimentation, so if anyone's got any thoughts, I will happily heed them. And we'll see where we go. My current plan is nothing more complicated than grating garlic over onions with a dressed oil, maybe throwing in the likes of some see, Convict, inspiring. Convict is now also cooking. Good man, Convict. Well done. What are you doing, Convict? I'm sure it is probably more legitimate than this experimentation. So that's perhaps a little bit too low. Let's turn it up just a touch. So, also a useful tip picked up from Gordon Ramsay. Rather than chopping and leaving with large chunks of garlic, be careful of your fingers, of course, but top and tail it and then just run it along your grater. Nice and gentle, be careful of your fingers. Full buffet. Okay, Convict, you should be the one doing the cooking. I'm just making a hot sauce and making a mess. And poor Mrs. Allen's probably quite rightly fled to some corner of the house until I've cleaned. I would not blame her. So just run it along. Also a useful tip, don't run it backwards and forwards, because there's only one sharp edge to the grater. So you're actually doing nothing when you run it backwards, except possibly blunting the edge of it. So let's just... And I'll be honest, as smells go, the combination of lightly caramelised onions is... Well, I think we've all, even I, have been on a night out and become somewhat peckish. The smell of cooked onions can bring you in by the nose like, quite frankly, nothing else. Even if the rest of the food is just horrendous garbage. So just then, once you're done with that, this is the ease of it, you run your knife down, and there we go. And that will quite frankly just melt into whatever you're cooking. So you'll never end up with sort of biting down on a big chunk of garlic. You just get the really nice flavour in the background. A little more sesame wouldn't go amiss. I'll just give that nice nutty tone to it. I mean, it's going to be competing with quite a few chilies, so I could probably justifiably pop a bit more in. Now, Omega, you're a fan of spice. Hot sauce. And so is Fluffy. But what I'm going to add is just a touch of mango into the mix. Try and give it a sort of the fruity kind of flavour of the mango with the pureed kind of texture of it, which I hope will make it a bit smoother than the last one. So I'm hoping that heat will mix with that little burst of sweetness. And then if you add in the caramelised sweetness of the onions, what I hope is for a winner. Unlike the last one, which is a sort of grey monstrosity, if I put it like that, which punches you in the throat. A bit like John Wick in his later years. He walks in, he looks faintly pleasant because it's Keanu Reeves and everybody loves him, and then he just hits you in the throat. Maybe I'll name the sauce the Keanu. No, sorry, the Wick. What am I talking about? Wrong one. Good. All right, we are of accord. We think it will be a tasty combo. Good. Right, let me just up to the nose. What could that do with? Always in my kitchen, a bit more pepper. Well, we are having chili, so maybe I should ease off on that. Habanero. Okay. Oh, right. So I've possibly inadvertently following where someone has been before, but that's good. That means that this should hopefully there is some basis in my logic. I was worried that I was perhaps going totally off-piste. So I'm going to do a drop more of the sesame oil, just to give that kind of maybe a nutty aftertaste. Even a nutty foretaste if I put too much in. So there we are. What's quite nice about this particular recipe as well is it's gentle. It's everything is slow, right up until the point where I stick it all in the blender, at which point it's just loud. Yeah. Right, just just going to have a little peruse of the spice cupboard. Is there anything that might go in? Well, I'm always a fan of so we're going to have a nutty kind of smoky background if I add in a little bit of smoked paprika. So we've got something nutty that's slightly smoky. Got a sweet note from the caramelised onions. And then hopefully, because I'm not looking for, this isn't meant to be one of the limper chilies that we will do. I want a kind of roaring flavour from it with the actual punch, but I want it to match with some flavour. And I'm just going to lift you in gently now, folks, because hopefully I can illustrate the point regarding the garlic. Sorry about the earthquake camera work again, but as you can hopefully see, there are no lumps or slices of garlic at all to be seen. It's all just melted away, and you got it, it's all in the nose. So it's all there, but you're never going to end up biting down and going, oh god, bitten off a clove of garlic, which I didn't want. Now let's turn that down. I'm going to turn that right down to 3 actually. And I think that will do. I don't want to overcomplicate it too much and start lobbing everything in the kitchen sink in. So, in fact, so you don't, again, I will keep my anonymity, I apologise. I shall bend down and get my blender. Oops, daisy. One of these days, this thin veil of anonymity is going to slip completely, however. It'll probably be me that does it, I hasten to add. Right, so, there we are. Our food processor out. Now, what do we need next, really, for the base? Suppose we could... We just thought, really? Is that true, folks? Have I just entirely ruined the anonymity? Let's just pop back here for a minute whilst that's... Oops, sorry. I've wrecked the camera work by moving us around. Hang on. There we go. Away. Well, if you did comment, all I shall say is that the Official Secrets Act will be making its way to you. A serious-looking gentleman who will never announce himself will arrive at your door. There we are. And actually, the nice thing about doing it like this is that the mango itself isn't massively ripe, but doesn't need to be, because... Well, actually, no, I tell a lie, it's actually better than I thought it was going to be. Let's just... So, all we want now is just the nice inside flesh. Maybe I should wear an owl mask. And occasionally hoot in a theatrical fashion. Actually, Mrs. Owl found when she was looking at all these emotes and how to do them, that there is such a thing as a laughing owl. And it's in New Zealand, and it's terrifying, because it sounds exactly like a human being, having a laugh, guffawing to itself quietly. And it's the most worrying thing I've ever seen. So just read Shakespearean sonnets and at the end go, woohoo! Was that a pigeon? I don't know. It was, we actually have owls around in this, obviously countryside, in this neck of the wood there are owls plentifully flying around. There we go. Right. Oops. I'm losing my various tea towels. There we go. So just to summarise, this is going to be, with the jam now doing its work, we're going to make this. I'm going to demonstrate the very last of the fermentation project. And then that will be it for the rest of the day for us. We shall sit back, relax, and enjoy the content of you fine folk if you are around and about. Let's just wash the old mixer again. Sadly, I think I'm still a step away from convincing Mrs. Owls to the merits of this particular air fryer. I think I'm going to struggle. Right. So I can only turn this around once again, so stop endlessly turning you backwards and forwards, for which I apologise. Let's just, when I say I'm putting everything in, I mean literally everything. I'm just taking off the top, and then I just YouTubed and laughing out. That, yeah, it's not good, is it, Omega? Also, the expression is worrying as it sort of guffaws at you. Okay, so let's... I mean, if something was flying overhead making that noise with that facial expression, that would be terrifying. Okay. Right, so they are ready. That can wait there. The onions are ready and have nicely caramelised. So, pardon me, folks, as I turn us yet again. Now, my great ingenious tactic for not deafening you with a food processor is literally I shall put my thumb over my microphone. It's not particularly clever, but it ought to work. So let's put that in there. Right, let's just start by giving that a pulse. So folks, I'm going to, sorry if you can't hear me very well, hopefully I'm going to stop you being deafened about now. And there we go. Now as consistency goes, that's not great. It's not a good start. It smells fantastic. In fact, if I took that away now, that's just that's delightful onions and mangoes. Now, what can I do to ease its consistency? I wonder if almond milk might be the answer. So let's start by, well, I mean, the chilies are going in. So, wish us luck, folks. Who knows what the Scoville will be? So, pardon me if I avoid you being deafened again and leave you with the background music. Right. Well, the colour is good. What? Ooh. Okay. If it's as strong as it smells, I may die. Okay. What can we do? Let's just try and demonstrate the issue we're having. I mean, you wouldn't want to eat that, would you? It's lumpy, it's bitty. I personally think we need a bit more. Right, let's just so you can see the whole process there. I think we could do with a bit more of the mango, so let's just try and get some more of that off. So at least I can confirm it smells strong. Let's just put in another quarter. Rough and ready. There we go. Squeeze in the flesh, hold on to the skin. Give it just a bit more. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, mate. At the moment, I mean, I just put my nose in and it blasted me backwards. It was that strong. So I think I can safely add a bit more mango to it. In fact, I may even just add the lot. Just appreciate I have not tasted this yet, but I'm going with what the nose said, and the nose said, "Oh, chuffing Nora." So there we go. So let's just get as much out there as we can. And now just squeeze in everything. In fact, I'm doing very bad practice here, folks. Never do what I just did. Turn it off at the wall first. You never know that you could get a surge in the plugs, in your fuses, and God forbid if I was doing this closer to the blade and it just suddenly did one turn, that's me and my fingers saying toodaloo, and I'd rather they didn't do that. So now what you tuned into in fine viewing content is a man squeezing a mango stone. Never said it was kitchen nightmares, did I? So let's add a bit more of that. Oops, I did. Right. That is, I think, is about as well as we're going to do that. Now, mango. Who likes the mango? So, I just randomly start dancing. So, right, try and clear up the mess I'm making as I go, because I'm making a lot of it. Right, I'm going to cover you again, folks. So pardon me. I should really have a mute button, shouldn't I? I should also turn the power on. Okay, well, we're getting closer to something that resembles a sauce. Let me put my nose in it again. Well, that's good. It doesn't feel as much like it wants to just blow my head off. What do we say, folks? Do we go for a first fairly scared taste test? What do we think? Otherwise, I'm thinking it might need just a little more. So we've got some almond milk that might just give it that little. Always taste as you go, like, yeah. I'm just wondering if now is the point, convict, or am I going to wreck my taste buds? But I think we should. Right. Wish me well, gents. Oh, okay. Okay. Whoa. Oh, damn. Oh. Oh, hello. That's... Oh, breathing in was a mistake too. Oh, hello. Hello. Woo. Okay, right. Oh, jeepers creepers. Oh, heavens to Patsy. Whew. Yes. Or citrus. Oh, gosh. Just... That may actually need some citrus to offset it. Hang on, I'm going to pulse something in. Hang on a sec. Oh, grief. Ooh. Ooh. As my late grandfather would say, for I say occasionally no reason whatsoever. A lovely man, but I never really understood that outburst. Okay, that is hot. That is definitely, we have made a hot sauce, folks. There is no denying that. I'm going to try adding, because I'll be honest, the mango, I hope it did something for the texture, because it's done nothing for the taste. There is no mango in there at all. So I'm going to try mango and lime go well together. Pardon my French, but bloody Nora. Oh, I don't think Mrs. Owl will be trying that one. Oh, let me just suck this actually. Just Okay. Right. Muting you again, folks. Sorry, hang on. Oh, well, I can say I have the slight forehead sweat. That's a good sign. This ain't the mild one for sure. So there we go. We're getting, I think, closer to what I would describe as something resembling a sauce in texture. I'm going in to brave another taste and see if the lime has done anything. Oh, I'm not actually looking forward to this now. Oh, I put it on my lips. That was a mistake. Oh, actually, the lime has done a little. Oh, no, it's not. Has it? Ooh. Oh, no. It's not done anything. Okay. Okay, that's dangerous. Let's get another lime on board. Oh no. The nose is running. Right, another lime. Oh gosh. Right, as much lime as we can squeeze in. Maybe I am a wimp with chili. Maybe we will not get as far through this challenge as I like to think we will. Oh God. Oh, squeeze a bit more. Suck one of these. I'm starting to have a newfound respect for the man that hosts First We Feast. Well, maybe he just makes better sauce than I do. Hang on. Oh dear. So, Omega. Yeah, I've lost my style and poise at this point. You're a fan of hot sauces. What do you think? Look-wise, would you be tempted? It looks like a sort of poor Nando's substitute. My mum makes jollof rice and she puts 10 Scotch bonnets that oils to my wife. Right now, I am in the I am with your. I'm in solidarity with your wife, Omega. That's. Anna. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's so hot. Oh. Ah. Hang on. No, you know what? I wanted it to be a hot sauce. I'm not putting sugar in. Maybe a little. Hang on. Maybe a little honey. Just it needs. I think just the tiniest bit to keep this fiery burn. I mean, it's still burning. Use it as dip. Right, so if you were at my house, this challenge would be no challenge to you, wouldn't it? You'd just blaze through. Blimey. Right. I'm doing the last test. At least it's a lot better than the first one. Right. But you know what? I'm putting it on a piece of bread this time. At least give it some kind of vessel. Hang on. Just a last on its own. Be brave.
My in-laws always buy me hot sauce when we go to visit. They know your taste well. Okay. I think I've done something right. It's now really hot. There's a burn. But by dropping in a little bit of honey to it and the lime, it's now sitting on my palate rather than trying to rip my face off. So I'm going to say that's a victory. Oh, God, man. I just want to make a southerner. Is it you, Commy? You're sending Omega massive amounts of hearty sauces. No, I can't barely think. Jesus. I accidentally ate all my father-in-law's hot sauce when I was last. Omega, if I can work out how to vacuum seal things, maybe that's what's going to have to be a gift at some point to people. One of the things I gift out, maybe little jars of homemade sauces or baked confections. My only concern in doing it is making sure I can do it safely. Because I can imagine if someone became unwell, it wouldn't bode well for me because there'd be some sneaky lawyer somewhere waiting to... I can barely talk. I need some paper. Oh my God. Oh, jeepers creepers. I feel I'm not doing your presence here justice, Omega. You would probably laugh this sauce off, but oh my God! You know what? I think we're gonna tub this up, and I think that's gonna be it for the stream. I can't talk. I can barely form sentences. Oh, God, Bennett. Right. Just no figs. Gotcha. No figs. I could do that. So what we've been doing, and I will put tips to this on our Discord. And Omega, I have joined yours. I've worked out the technology. It took me all morning, I'm embarrassed to say. What I've done is sterilise this jar. There are two ways you can do this if you're going to do fermentation or your own food production and you want to store it. I'm sorry if this is teaching to suck eggs to anyone who already knows it. You can either boil it in hot water, and then the tip I've got is leave it in the hot water till you're ready to decant, or use an oven at 100 degrees Fahrenheit on a fan assisted oven. But whatever you do, and there's a reason I did the boiling one this time, is take out anything that can melt, like that bit there. I made that mistake once and ruined a perfectly good jar. Mrs. Owl was taking a nap and I said, don't worry, I can handle things whilst you're having a nap. It turned out I could not handle things while she was having a nap, and I totally bodged it. Right, now that is a very small funnel. Well, them tablets you use to clean baby bottles. Yes, that too, Convey. That would be a good idea, actually. How on earth am I going to get it in there? I need a funnel small enough for that. I don't think I do. I think this one's too big. Hang on. Let's have a... Is that going to work? Oh no, that will... Yeah, that will just about work. So, got myself a funnel. Got my jar. Let's decant, shall we, gentlemen? And ladies, whoever is still here, and I'm sorry, Bess, I appreciate I can only really chat to you if you're chatting to me because my viewer count on my phone perpetually says the number of people here is 0. So I can never know who's actually here. Fulama, hello. Congratulations are owed to you, good sir. Huge congratulations from myself and Mrs. Owl. Thoroughly and well deserved. I'm well, my face is on fire. Because I had to do a little taste test of the hot sauce that we've been making, which now, to my regret, is not quite pouring down the funnel spout. It's rather hot. It's doing the stupid glitch again. What glitch is it doing? I make, oops, a doodle. Now why are you not going down the spout? That's not helpful. Right, this is so thick. It is taking some encouragement. Oh, I did something stupid. I just cleaned the spoon by licking it. That may have been an error. That was an error. Oh no. Oh, that was not clever. Oh dear. Oh dear, 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 dear. That was a mistake. Ooh. I'm just. We're all super thank you for Lama. I promise I'm not milking this for all it's worth. I'm just not phenomenal with spice. So why I picked this as my challenge, I think, can only be testament to the First We Feast show, and that I do rather enjoy it. Oh dear. And what are your plans today for Lama? This your day of jubilee, as we shall call it, shall henceforth be known. This was working better actually before I used the funnel, oddly enough. Oh my lord! Oh, that's not gone well. That's gone appallingly. Oh no! Oh no! Let's get this. That has not gone stupendously. This ain't Blue Peter, folks. There is no here's one I made earlier, unfortunately. Ah, damn it. Kind of relaxing seeing the sauce. Well, I mean, yes, it was, wasn't it? And then I kind of botched it. Right. Well, that just has not worked. That's disappointing on many levels. Right, pardon me folks, I'm going to have to wash this off, I think. Let's start this again. Let's try another approach. Ah, dear. Right. And I've made an absolute... Looks like it's so hot it exploded. I should have taken a picture, shouldn't I? This is how hot the hot sauce is. It just went boom. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to try that again. I think maybe just patience is required. In fact, can I just simply feed it? It's going to take a long time. It is the most accurate way of doing it though. Today I'm virtual hanging out with my family at 6 and streaming at half. Are you back to Kung Fu Zombies? Everybody was Kung Fu fighting? Squelch. Those zombies are not as fast as lightning, but they are bitey. This has to be the slowest decanting I've ever done. However, patience is a virtue. How are your family with a convict? Are they settling down soon to the banquet you so lovingly crafted? Oh dear me, go on. Call of Duty today, Zombies? Okay, the sauce has robbed me of my ability to talk. I've never heard of a zombie before. A gleeful zombie. A zombie. Zombies probably next week, maybe Saturday, moving around our schedule. Oh, super duper. It's a little bit of into the fire and brimstone with parachutes and much modern weaponry. I'm still in Boer War stage, I think. I'm going to go lurk, having a walk. Thanks. Don't burn your mouth. So do my best. Thank you. No, thanks to you, Omega, for dropping in. Enjoy your walk. Enjoy your time with your family. Sounds a marvellous way to spend Sunday. There we are. Right. Starting to get it now. Oh, no, I'm not. I spoke too soon. Oops. Right. There we go. Right. Right, folks. In fact, folks, I think rather than have you all sit here watching me very slowly spoon sauce into a jar, which I'll be honest, is not really the most thrilling content in the world, I imagine. What I might say is that we might just start to wrap it up here as I'm pouring away using the spoon. I can go and find Mrs. Owl as well and make sure that she's got a coffee in hand should she need it. She's not been down for a while, so she must be busy. There we go. I must admit, Fulham, I felt so sorry for you the time we were watching, because I could almost hear it in your voice that you were sort of like, I'm enjoying playing this, but when does the chapter end? When can I stop for the night? Why is that big fat zombie coming through the door again? Oh, God. Kitten's joining us. With any luck, Convict, my day should hopefully remain clear. We shall hopefully come and see you for all or some of it, and you too, Philama, and we shall see Kitten as well. So, this is going to probably take me a long time. So, what I'm going to say is, I shall, indeed, as I imagine, Convict, you'll be off to go and enjoy the benefits of the buffet that you have so marvellously created. That I may go and supply Mrs. Owl with lunch. And a cup of coffee. Oh, sit down for a minute, getting old. Yes, so that's been superb. We have actually got a hot sauce that could kill a man. Not Omega. He's more a man than I, clearly. So that's what's coming up. I shall try and broadcast it far and wide. And if you know anyone, guys, that you want to watch a desperately poor Spice Fiend trying his luck, next weekend, I think, is the Date of Doom. Well, not Date of Doom, Date of Joy. As my thanks to everyone for helping me get to affiliate, we will do the First We Feast Hot Ones Challenge, possibly also demonstrating how to cook a what's called a cauliflower tot, because the best chicken wings I can get around here are the size of turkey wings. They're huge. They're just way too big. Abza! Hello, Abza. How are you? You've unfortunately just caught me as I'm just leaving, as we are just wrapping up. But everyone, this is Abza. He's one of our gamers from Singapore. I've had many a joyful afternoon with him on in the background at work. We've watched together the Singaporean elections. We've watched him battle in first-person shooters. So I can thoroughly recommend you to him. He's a lovely chap. But next weekend, we will do a First We Feast Hot Ones Challenge, full range of sauces. I'd like us to get as many people as I can together and let them ask any question that they like. Obviously, I can't tell you who I am or where I am, so if it's that, I'll have to answer a different question for you. Convict is a gentleman unsurpassed. You are a marvellous fellow, you really are. Super fellow that you are. So hopefully you can all join us next weekend when we will engage either with a cauliflower equivalent for a hot wing or an actual chicken hot wing. And we will be here to answer your questions. And we will try and get as far as we can. I think the hottest one is going to still be, though, the Dread Skull. Or as the great Shakespeare moment would be, to be or not to be. I know what my first choice would be. Oh dear. Sense of humour, questionable, I think. Fluffy, you're a star. Thank you very much. I look forward to your questions. I look forward to seeing you online too, and I hope that Abza, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we haven't got the spangles here because we're in the kitchen. But thank you for the 200 bits. What a marvellous fellow you are. I appreciate absolutely all your support. In that case, Covet, if you're going to be there, break out the skull glass, and I shall do my damnedest to get to the dreaded skull sauce. I mean, that one nearly blew my head off. God knows what this one's going to do. Gentlemen and ladies, and anyone who's here, thank you very much, as ever, from myself and Mrs. Howe. She's probably busy off working herself at the moment. But You are a star, thank you. I do hope you enjoy it when we get there. But we'll be on before that. We're going to be on Wednesday cooking pasta and prawns. It's going to be a cook-along. Convict, the recipe's already in our Discord if you want to purchase ingredients and cook it along with us. We're not doing it in 10 minutes as per the challenge that Gordon Ramsay set. Laid back, step by step. We will show you what I think is one of the best pasta dishes I may have ever had. It's an absolute belter, provided you like prawns. If you don't like prawns, tell me and we'll swap it out for something. You could easily do it with anything from tofu to I don't know, chicken would do. But prawns is the recipe if your family likes seafood. No, that's all right, Convict. It's a cook-along for anyone who wants to cook along. If you just want to sit back and have a chat with us, that's what we're here for. That's our style. That's our niche in this little tiny corner of Twitch. But yes, and may I say, if anyone doesn't follow Abs, who's just so kindly cheered us, what a man, what a star. You're eating prawns now. Oh, brilliant. There we go. In that case, I can report back to you. You can try it at your leisure. He's a well worth watching his stuff. He's on during the afternoons for us here in the UK. I'm going to struggle to tell you what he is in American time zones. Singapore is... I can't remember. I think it's 9 to 12 hours ahead, I think. Possibly. Anyway. I'm going to go and check on Mrs. L. Take her a nice cup of coffee. Get her some lunch. To all of you and everyone, wise move, Fluffy. He's a real stellar fella. He's a great chap. Have the most marvellous Sunday. I hope it eases you straight into what is an excellent Monday. To those of you who are streaming later, I am absolutely sure I will see you there. Thank you as ever for everyone's support. From myself and Mrs. Owl. I still always giggle when I see my unbranded tea towel. But yes, Falama, Convict, Fluffy, Abs, everyone who's there, anyone who's lurking, anyone who's toddled off since to do bits and pieces, have a marvellous rest of the day. Thanks, folks. Wish us luck for next week. See you soon. Toodaloo.